Welcome to this episode of Season 1 of the Malta Humanist Soundbites, where we get a closer look at humanist individuals in Malta. In the next 7 minutes, together with Christian, we should be getting to know his humanistic views, especially on the topic of humanism in his everyday life. Welcome, Christian.
Hello.
It's good to have you on the show. So let's start with 3 words your friends would use to describe you.
I think those would be kind, efficient, and happy.
Lovely. Before you turned to humanism, I understand you were a religious person. Was there something in particular that caused you to change from being a religious person?
I think the best thing I describe this is gradual loss of faith. So when I was an adolescent, I started having serious doubts about my faith, but at first I hung on to it. Then in my late teens, the doubts grew so much that religion was no longer viable for me. So I had no option but to leave.
So how easy or difficult is it for an individual to leave religion behind him in Malta nowadays and turn to other belief systems like humanism?
I think it really depends on the situation. Like, for example, if coming from a very religious family, then leaving religion might mean that the relationships get strained. If, for example, the social circles are all based in religion, then someone might end up without friends once leaving religion. And some people might even lose their job if it's related to their faith. So in that sense, it's quite challenging to leave religion. Otherwise, I believe that this stigma has now, at least in a lot of circles, is not there anymore.
So are there any support networks that people who are going through these difficulties could turn to?
So as far as I know, there are no specifically dedicated networks for support in this case. Of course, psychotherapy and the usual support structures that there are would also apply in this case. So I would say that the Malta Humanist Association in this case could really help because many of us have already gone through this change and left religion behind. So we can offer our experience to support people going through the same transition.
I see. Would you call yourself a spiritual person? And if so, what is spirituality for you?
So spirituality means a lot of things for different people. If by spirituality we mean like feeling small in this big universe, like being able to see the world from outside of yourself, to see the other people's points of view and so on, then I hope that I am spiritual. But of course, this might be different from what spirituality means for other people.
I see. So when we turn to other things in life, what should make humanism attractive to turn to?
So I think the nice thing about it is that even though it's faithless, it can help you find meaning in life. So being able to find purpose and understand that leaving faith doesn't mean that it's the end of the world and you can still find your way through life. I think that's a big plus for humanism. And combining it with the philosophical underpinnings, it can offer like a nice way of looking at things in a more positive way.
So do you think there are currently enough people inquiring into humanism?
I think not enough people know about humanism, although I would say that most people are humanists without even realizing, because at the end of the day, it's a philosophy which many people who are not religious but want to live a good life still abide by. Maybe they're not familiar with the term humanist. So hopefully through these conversations, more people would know about humanism.
So could you give some examples of exactly how humanism could help individuals or groups in everyday life?
So I would say there are a number of pillars of humanism. To start with, I think one of the fundamental things is to see things from a scientific and rational point of view. So unlike some people who might just believe some things just because religion says so, the humanist point of view is strictly evidence-based. So I think that's a very positive thing. A second thing is that it is all in favor of freedom of individuals. So it's about respecting everyone's freedom. And in a group, of course, that is something which is very important. And a third aspect of humanism is compassion. So it's rooted very much in the compassion towards fellow human beings. And I think these three elements are things that really make up good communities.
So why do you feel so passionately about humanism?
So I believe that in the world as it is now, facing lots of challenges, I think joining everyone together and putting the best efforts in the best minds at work, while at the same time respecting everyone and leaving no one behind. I think those are the most important aspects that humanism has to offer to a global world. And I think it can make really a huge difference.
Well, thank you, Christian. That's very interesting. And I hope our listeners find some useful nuggets of information there. So stay safe, keep up the good work, and goodbye for now.
Thanks and goodbye.